Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ebel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join me today for a chat about weight loss that works and how I've lost 19 pounds in the last 4 months using the Starch solution and Dr. McDougall's plan for maximum weight loss. Quick disclaimer, I am not a doctor or nutritionist. I am just someone who has struggled with weight and weight loss, and I just want to share what is finally working for me. My unhealthy relationship with dieting began literally over 30 years ago, and I've shared that whole story on my I'm Done Dieting series, so I will link to that playlist. The entire goal of that video series was to find a healthy, vegan, whole food, plant-based way to eat and live that didn't have me constantly counting calories and obsessing over what my next meal is gonna be and do I need to work out to burn something off. So I filmed that video series from November 19 to November 2020, and finally in the fall of 2020 I discovered Dr. McDougall's books, The Starch Solution and his program for maximum weight loss, and it is official, I am done dieting. The difference between Dr. McDougall and the way I had always looked at veganism and whole food plant-based eating is that Dr. McDougall says no oil. And no matter how healthy I thought I had been eating in the past, there was always some vegan junk food, and there was always a lot of vegan mayonnaise was my worst habit, and then cooking with just a drizzle of olive oil or just a spray. And the problem is that olive oil is pure fat. Olive oil is in no way a health food, and it's just marketed as that, and it's totally like scammy, I think, the way they say there's 0 calories in a quarter of a spray of olive oil. Who does a quarter of a spray? But that's what they do so that they can say it's 0 calories, but what's in that container is pure fat. I'll share a link to Dr. McDougall's video about no oil if you want some more information on that. If you're unfamiliar with Dr. McDougall, his basic message is, it's the food. It's the food that's poisoning us and making us sick. He's got a really good YouTube video, I'll link to that too. Dr. McDougall promotes a high-carb, low-fat, vegan, plant-based diet with the primary focus being on starches. Our human body's preferred source of fuel is carbohydrates in the form of starches. This is the way people have been eating like as far back in time as we can go. Our ancestors lived on diets of primarily potatoes or rice or corn or other different grains that are available. So the way we should be fueling our bodies is primarily with starches, and then with the rest of our diet have non-starchy vegetables and fruits and beans, legumes, and other plant-based things like that. Dr. McDougall does not promote fasting or calorie counting or macro counting or anything like that, which is such a relief after dieting for 30 years. Dr. McDougall says, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're satisfied, not stuffed, and then eat when you're hungry again. It's really quite simple. Because of the low calorie density of plant foods, we can eat a lot of food and fill up our stomach and feel full and not have to worry about gaining weight like we do when we eat really high calorie dense foods. Here's an example. Olive oil, 1 tablespoon, has about 120 calories. You can eat an entire pound of green vegetable like broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, all a little bit different calories, but around 120 for a whole pound. So just think about a pound of food versus 1 tablespoon of food. And that's why all calories are not created equal. So I've been specifically following Dr. McDougall's 2 books, The Starch Solution and the McDougall Program for Maximum Weight Loss. And real quick, I just want to tell you about the main differences between the two. So all of Dr. McDougall's work promotes a vegan, whole food, plant-based, high-carb, low-fat, no oil diet. I basically consider 3 main differences between the 2 programs, and the first difference is the proportion of starches on your plate. So I'm going to read a quote directly from the Starch Solution book here. The cardinal rule of the starch solution is that you must center the food on your plate around starches, adding color and flavor with non-starchy vegetables and fruits. Use fat-free seasonings and sauces generously to add variety to your meals and make them more interesting. So on the starch solution, Dr. McDougall recommends 70 to 90% of your plate be starches. For the McDougall's Maximum Weight Loss program, he encourages a 50-50 plate. So looking at your plate by food volume, half of the plate full of starches, the other half your non-starchy vegetables. The second difference between the two books is the amount of healthy plant fats you should be consuming. So if you're following the starch solution and you're at a healthy weight, feel free to have the nuts, nut butters, avocados, olives, like in reasonable portions. This also includes higher calorie plant food like dried fruits or bread or cereal. On the Maximum Weight Loss program, you do not include any healthy fats because, as Dr. McDougall says, the fat you eat is the fat you wear. And if you're trying to lose weight, you don't need to be eating any additional fat. And the third difference between the two programs is the amount of fruit you eat. The starch solution recommends like 2 to 3, maybe up to 5. They don't really put a limit on it. They're just say like, be aware. Fruit tastes so good. We can eat a lot of it as humans. And speaking as someone who has tried the raw till 4 frugivore diet, I gained a lot of weight. I think that was I'm Done Dieting video number 3 if you want to hear the details of that. So the Maximum Weight Loss program limits you to just 2 pieces of fruit per day, just for that simple reason that you don't want to overdo it and ended up eating a ton of calories of fruit because it's so good. So that is the main difference between the two books, and obviously I am not Dr. McDougall, so please refer to his books, website, and YouTube channel if you want more information straight out of the horse's mouth. So like I mentioned, I filmed that I'm Done Dieting series over the course of a year, but throughout those 8 videos, I never shared my weight. And part of it was just mostly fear, just scared of being vulnerable and embarrassed. I've struggled with my weight for 30 years, so it's a bit of a sensitive subject for me sometimes, and I was just scared to share that number, but I think I'm ready to go there now, and I think I just want to be open and honest, because it kind of felt like I was hiding something every time I filmed one of those videos and saying, down 2 pounds from the last video, so down, whatever. So I am just under 5 foot 2 inches tall, and my starting weight was 170 pounds, and I'm currently at 151 pounds. I don't have a goal weight number in mind. I am going to lose weight until I achieve the healthy body that I know is under here. So what has worked well for me is kind of alternating between the two programs whenever I hit a plateau. So I think this totally depends what kind of a background you're coming from, because I was already vegan and really close to whole food plant-based. I just had to eliminate the oil. If you're coming from the standard American diet, you might have a lot of great success on the starch solution because eliminating meat and dairy and replacing it with plant foods, like, of course you're gonna lose some weight. But if you're coming to the starch solution from keto, you might gain weight initially, because basically our bodies store up to 2 pounds of carbohydrates as glycogen in our muscles that we can use as energy. Think of runners and swimmers and how they carbo load the night before a race, so they have that glycogen stores in their muscles. The next day when they do the race, they've got all that energy waiting to be used. But if you're following a keto diet and not eating enough carbohydrates, you lose those glycogen stores. So then when you go back to eating carbs, you have to get that store back up, so you could gain 2 pounds right there. So that's why people coming from keto to this lifestyle might initially gain weight. And unfortunately, it makes a lot of them go back, but keto is the worst diet for your health. I can't even go into it. So I started the starch solution October 1st of 2020, and in about 3 weeks I lost 8 pounds, which was basically from increasing my starches and eliminating the oil from my diet, because I was already pretty whole food plant-based. So then I ended up falling into the terrible habit I have of self-sabotage, and I went out of town for a week. And in that 1 week, I gained back all of those 8 pounds. I was in a place that had a lot of vegan junk food, and every single day, I would say probably 90% of my meals was vegan junk food, because it was there and it was exciting and I was celebrating that I had lost weight. So yeah, literally 8 pounds back on. I was back at square one. So October 24th became my new day one at 170 pounds. And I focused on maximum weight loss in the 50-50 plates. And then from then to like the end of November, it took me till like the end of November to lose those 8 pounds again. So end of November, I was down to 162, and I maintained that weight all through the month of December, which I would say I was eating good like 90% of the time, but there was a few meals out and a few holiday parties that had a little bit of vegan junk food, so. January did take me a couple weeks to like get totally back on track, but I did, and in January I lost another 3 pounds, so I was down to 159. February I got super serious with maximum weight loss and 50-50 plates, and I got down 6 pounds in February. Today is March 9th, and I'm down another 2 pounds so far this month, bringing my total weight loss to 19 pounds and my weight to 151. As I said earlier, I'm not sure what my goal weight is. I'm really trying to not obsess about the number on the scale, but I do want to track it, so I am weighing in every day. And I think it's helping me, honestly, because I'm noticing those plateaus. And if my weight stays the same for like over 10 days, that's when I'll switch from starch solution to maximum weight loss, or if I'm doing 50-50 plates, increase my starch a little bit more. I have a terrible history of calorie restriction, and I think I need to be careful of my calories getting too low. There was a time in February that I was losing weight pretty rapidly, and that continued for maybe 2 weeks, and then my weight started to creep back up for an entire week. And that's when I started thinking, like, am I eating enough? Maybe I should go to starch solution for a couple days. And I went to starch solution for I think 5 days, and then the weight started coming off again. So like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not Dr. McDougall, but this is what's working for me. If you've watched the I'm Done Dieting series, then you know what a struggle this has been. And to finally find what I was looking for, a healthy, whole food, plant-based way to eat without counting calories, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. I don't think I have ever had this low of a stress level while losing weight. Because any other time I've lost weight has pretty much been on a diet where I was restricting something. So I'd like to leave you with one final thought, and that is that your taste buds only live about 10 days before they're replaced by new taste bud cells. So if you're trying to switch to a more plant-based diet, give it 10 days. So many people give up because they start craving unhealthy things and they just cave in. I know 10 days might seem like a long time, but it goes by really quick. It really does. And when you start to notice yourself like actually like loving the taste of fruits and vegetables, like it feels so good. So obviously go check out Dr. McDougall's website and books and YouTube channel for a lot more information. And if you want to learn more about how to transition to a plant-based diet from me, check out my online video course, Eat Well with Ebel, an introduction to plant-based nutrition. My course is 14 videos totaling 99 minutes and helps give you the basics on how to start transitioning from the sad standard American diet to a plant-based lifestyle. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Be well.